Did you ever notice that the religious seem to think that everybody out there is out to get them? And there's a reason for that, not just self-delusion and paranoia, although there is a lot of that too, but it's the oldest reason that there is. It's meant to separate the idiots from their money. And here's one perfect example of that. Stay tuned. In a recent video, Greg Koukl came up in the discussion and I figured, yeah, why the heck not? Let's go see what Greggy Poo has been up to. And as it turns out, it's pretty much what you'd expect, and that's really nothing to be proud of. So we're going to look at one video that I pulled pretty much at random from the STR playlist and find out that, yeah, this just doesn't look good for the religious if you know what to look for. And we do. Of course we do. We've been doing this a long time. Now, they're hoping their own side doesn't figure any of this out, but we are very much aware of what the religious shysters actually want. And I'll leave that to you to work it out on your own. So let's get to Greg making a complete fool of himself once again, because what else is new?
I have been a Christian following Christ for over 48 years, and I have never seen anything in the culture like I see right now.
And you know how many times that's been said throughout history? Many people throughout thousands of years of history have said, wow, things are so different now. And they're wrong. They're always wrong. We see ancient Roman graffiti yelling about how terrible the world is, yet it's pretty much the same today as they described it back then. The youth have been ruining the culture forever, and they still are, because nothing ever really changes. It's because people like Greg, they're not very conversant in the larger context of history. Or, more likely, he's just using it as a springboard into getting his idiot followers to do what he wants. Like I keep saying, dumb or dishonest. We always come back to that. So let's see what Greg is so broken up about, and why, invariably, it's going to be really, really stupid.
And I'm not alone. You see it too. We're getting challenges from every direction, and it's not just the classic stuff. It's all kinds of new stuff that I have never imagined we would be facing right now.
And I'm willing to bet that he's wrong. It's going to be the same stuff, just wrapped up in a different costume. And of course, everybody's going to be out to get him. Because most religions rely on fear. Fear of their gods, fear of the world, hell, fear of each other. These people are terrified, and the apologists play on that fear to get their own way. It's one of the reasons that religion exists in the first place. It capitalizes on that fear. It reinforces that fear, and it mobilizes the gullible faithful based on the things that they are afraid of. It's not about looking at the world reasonably and rationally. It's about letting their emotions run away with them and doing a whole bunch of stupid stuff that intelligent people would never do. So let's watch Greg play right into that, shall we?
But for 28 years, Stand to Reason has been stepping up. And we've been stepping up dealing with the issues and translating what's going on and passing answers on to you.
In other words, do what we say. Because that's what religion is, isn't it? It isn't a group of people coming together to hash out the best course of action, rationally and intellectually, the things that are best for everybody. It's about some guy in a dress issuing orders from the pulpit, backed up by the imaginary power of God. The whole thing is a power trip and a scam. Here's what God wants you to do. Trust me, he told me to tell you that. It's just absurd. We've been doing this for a long time, so, you better listen to us, because otherwise God's gonna get you. No, you've been making a bunch of unsubstantiated claims based on blind faith for years and years on end, but that doesn't mean that anything that you've said makes any rational sense at all. It's all in your head, and you have nothing more intelligent than that.
So that you can stand tall in a culture that is increasingly hostile to the Christian worldview and to the Christians that hold it.
And there you go. They're out to get us. Do you know how long Christians have been pulling that one out of their ass? Since the 1st century CE. And before them, how long have the Jews been pulling the same thing? As long as they've existed. And the Muslims and the Hindus and the Buddhists, they're all doing it. Virtually every theology out there is based on, oh no, they're out to get us. Why? Because it works. Because if you force fear into your followers, they'll do just about anything you say. Ask Jim Jones. Well, they're coming to get us, so please have some Kool-Aid. It's what every apocalyptic religion does, and Christianity is an apocalyptic religion. But why it's all really being done, at least if the leaders aren't demonstrably insane, is for power, influence, and most especially for money. They're coming to get us, so you need to give me more of your money, more of your time, more of your hard work, so that we can get out there and fight the good fight. Except it's never the leadership on the front lines, is it? Of course not, they're too important. Or maybe they're just too busy living the good life, exhorting their followers to put their bodies and their financial well-being on the line. But that couldn't be the case, could it?
And this is why this part of the year is so important for us. We're finishing up our year. We're looking to you to respond to help us to finish strong at Stand to Reason so we can start strong next year.
What'd I tell you? Now, some people wonder if I don't actually watch these videos beforehand because I do seem to know what they're going to say. But no, the reality is I don't. Very rarely anyway. Sometimes I will, but most of the time I don't. I just know these people. I know their tactics, I know how they work, and I know what they want. It's really not that hard to figure out. All of the signs are there if you just bother to look. I had no clue at all that this was going to be a give us your money video when I started it, but that's what they all seem to be, if you know what to listen for. Because that's exactly what religion is. It's a scam. It's a con job. You don't see Greg Koukl or any of his cohorts in sackcloth because they've spent all of their money fighting the good fight, do you? Of course not. These people are wealthy. They might not be mega church wealthy, but they're not doing bad. And I'm sure if they could figure out how to be mega church wealthy, they'd do it in a second. Virtually none of these religious shysters are ever like that. Because it's really, really, really rare when you actually see somebody who walks the walk that they teach. Virtually always, it's just a scam. And that's exactly what Greggy Poo here is pulling.
Now, we have a great group of people. They're called our Challenge Donor Team that have pledged nearly $260,000 as a challenge amount that they can offer to you to either match as a group or exceed as a group in your giving this year.
So make sure you whip out your checkbooks because Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Because that's what this is always about. Money, influence, and power. That's religion for you, folks. Unfortunately, there's a seemingly never-ending load of gullible idiots who are all too willing to fall for it because, fee-fees. Because, again, that's what it always comes down to. Trading your money and self-esteem for religious lies meant to coddle your emotions because you're lacking in the normal confidence and the common sense to stand on your own 2 feet. P.T. Barnum said it perfectly. There's a sucker born every minute. Religion has made a career out of seeking those suckers out. And it's really sad that people can't see what's going on.
And my encouragement to you is to step up to that challenge. And when you send your gift, I'll send you a gift. It's J. Warner Wallace's brand new book, A Person of Interest, Why Jesus Still Matters in a World That Rejects the Bible. This is all new material. You've never seen anything like this before. You're going to love it, and you're going to get an autographed copy.
Because here's another thing to notice. These shysters always shill for each other. Just listen to them. Apologetics is ridiculously incestuous. If you fall for this one person's line, well, try to sell them on somebody else's too, so you can all cross-promote. This is why you see so many other apologists and theologians showing up in their videos and mentioned positively. It's why William Lane Craig sits down with people like Robert Barron, two people you would think not to have a lot in common, because they're both trying to tap into the built-in audiences of the other. This is Basic Marketing 101, and this is all that's going on. These are the religious influencers, and you don't think they're doing it for the good of mankind, do you? No, they're doing it for the good of their own pocketbooks. Read this book and then go buy all the others. And that's why I made the point in the last Frank Turek video that he spent a lot of his podcast pushing his talks, his books, his website, yada yada yada. He doesn't care about your soul. He cares about your contributions. It's blatantly obvious.
Please take advantage of the challenge, responding to it with your generous gift. Please take advantage to get the new book by J. Warner Wallace. And please take advantage of helping us to continue the work that we've been doing for 28 years.
You know, taking advantage of you. I mean, I don't understand how anyone couldn't see what's actually going on here. How anyone can be that dumb is beyond me. Yep, you only have to look at the world of religion to see how clearly true that it is. None of these big-name preachers and apologists are going hungry. From Kenneth Copeland and his private planes to Greg Koukl, who is a millionaire, I'm not seeing anybody who's suffering. Now, I'm not against making money per se, although he's certainly not following Matthew 19:21 and giving his money to the poor, is he? Because none of them do that. None of them care. They don't give a crap about the poor. They only give a crap about themselves. Because this is all a scam. Figure it out.
To stand up to the culture, to give answers for our convictions, and to build confidence and courage in our young people and in our Christian communities to stand against the world. Thank you for everything that you've done, and thank you for your gift to Stand to Reason.
And keep forking over that money because Greg wants a new car. I mean, honestly, this isn't that hard to see. It's really, really obvious. I just happened into this one, but think back. How many apologist videos have I done where I pointed out all the things that these people are shilling for? Pay for my talks, buy my books, tithe to my ministry. It's never ending. It never is. This is one thing that I thought of last night when I was talking to a friend and he was trying to point out that some churches are better at collecting money than others. Yeah, but they're all using the same kind of manipulative tactics for getting the collection plate full. They're all set up that way. When do you think they ask for your money? Right after the sermon. You got your entertainment? Now you got to pay for it. This is all set up for purely psychological reasons. They've studied this stuff to figure out how to maximize their returns. From the words that they use to the music that they play, it's all designed to separate you from your money and getting the responses that they want. This is all a con job. It always has been, and it always will be. And if you don't understand that, you are an idiot. Just like Greg Koukl.
Boom, dicky, 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 boom.